Hello everybody and welcome to a bit of, I guess, a new series I'm going to be starting with this YouTube channel. And it's going to be me breaking down some interesting and strange compositions that I've either ran into in Open Division or in a official tournament, or just something that I've seen around the contender scene and or anywhere in the official Blizzard licensed tournaments. Regardless, today I'm going to be taking a look at something that actually Team Wavy, my team for last season of Open Division, actually ran into a lot in terms of counters to our usual defense on Hollywood, which at the time was Ash and Junkrat on the DPS roles, Diva and Orisa on the tank roles, and Batiste and Mercy on the support roles. And the reason we attempted this, and you kind of just got a little teaser of what actually the comp is going to be that we ran into, is a lot of the time when people ran goats, they would come through control room and try and go this way. But we would catch them out with a trap, and then once someone got caught in the trap, we would have the Junkrat firing down there, we would have the Diva and the Ashe also firing down there. And at the same time, we could have the Ashe firing main and getting early pickoffs with the Dynamite and with headshots. Regardless though, one thing to keep in mind is that sometimes teams won't run goats. Sometimes teams will run maybe a triple DPS comp or a quadruple DPS comp, and that's when our tank line would more so rotate back with the team and just slowly pressure them out and try and build our elements before they can build theirs. There was a lot of healing in this comp as well, so we could sustain through a lot. But one thing that teams started to run into us, or at least a few teams started to run into us, was actually this. Now this is a 6 DPS composition here, so we have the a lot of spam in the Pharah, the Junkrat, and the Hanzo, the Ashe as well, and the Soldier's going to put a lot of consistent damage on the shield, and the Sombra is going to provide a much more utility-based addition to this lineup. But all they would do is they would send, let's say, their Hanzo and their Junkrat around this side, and play around this. They would send their Pharah and their Ashe to play kind of closer. The Pharah couldn't really play high ground, but yeah, they still would play probably Pharah around here, Ashe around here, and then Soldier would be playing more main, and Sombra would be wrapping likely under Cafe, waiting for her team to be ready. Now straight away, when they would actually be approaching this angle up the main street, this would immediately put a lot of pressure on our members that were on the first high ground. And this is going to be a very common theme. The pressure that the damage this comp puts out provides. But yeah, once they are forced out, they have to go back to here. They can't really sit, so now they have healing, but we no longer control this sight line here. Meaning we can only really attack once they commit through a gate, through this choke, or around this corner. We can no longer control this area out here. Which is already very bad for us, and it's already basically won them this, because once they take these positions, and they coordinate when they want to start putting damage down. The Pharah has much better sightlines than the Ashe will, because she can just peek over this rooftop. Sorry, our Ashe, should I say? But once they're all in position, they simply just spam out the shield. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different spam heroes spamming out the shield, and at the same time the Sombra is behind, either putting pressure on the backline with the gun, or she's going to hack out the Orisa or the Batiste. The reason these two hack targets is just because the way that this our comp actually plays is that we play around our shield. We're going to be taking cover, and then once the shield breaks, our immortality field is going to be what we rely on to survive. If we can't have an immortality field, or if we can't replace our shield, then we're going to have a lot of trouble blocking the damage, and as a result, all of this damage that was originally burning a 900 HP shield in about a second is going to then be going straight onto us. They're going to get a lot of picks, and they're going to slowly overwhelm us just with the damage output, rather than the pressure. Dealing with this comp is actually quite simple. the biggest aspect that I would say to deal with this 60 PS comp is taking a different position. Rather than relying on the Orisa shield, you're going to be relying a lot more on natural cover in the composition. Things like walls, things like just map geometry, rather than things that can be broken. So you're not really going to be relying on May walls. You're not going to be relying on anything that's really destroyable for the enemy, including the Immortality Field, which means the Batiste is virtually useless against this comp, aside from the superior healing output. But if you get an Ana, you can probably pressure out somebody a bit more efficiently. So if you're anticipating this comp, maybe don't run the Batiste, maybe run an Ana instead. But yeah, you'd likely be playing... While I don't like it as a position, the low ground is likely the better position to play in, just because it has a much more enclosed area, much harder area to spam, and your diva is still going to be spamming the point, touching the point, so that they can't really force that away from you, due to the amount of healing that you simply have, especially if you're running the Ana and you can nade her. To actually win out the fight, because you can't just survive, you have to win. You're likely going to have to be turning to isolate a single target. You can maybe look to isolate a Sombra. You can look to wait for your ultimates, and then, once you have your Diva Bomb online, you can likely pressure out at least a Farah or the Junkrat and the Hanzo. But you're doing the same as this as any triple DPS comp would, in the sense that you're playing for your ultimates. So it's a very slow comp when you're playing as triple DPS, or 60 DPS, should I say. But at the same time, you are just playing to survive for the most part. You win the fights you need to, and you survive for the rest of them. Because outright trying to play aggressive and win out the fight is going to open you up to 6 different angles of damage to barrage on you from above, which is likely going to kill you very fast. You're going to lose the first point, and because this is not this is a comp that was built to full hold. Once you lose a fight, you're going to be likely behind in ultimates, because they can swap to maybe Summer Goats. They can keep the Hanzo, they can keep the Ashe, and they can go a triple DPS comp. But there's a lot they can do with that composition, and there's not a lot you can do. Especially if you're running the Batiste. Maybe you can go Ana Goats and you have a nano boost to build some of those ultimates back up. But if you do lose this first point with this composition, you're not setting yourself up for a good Hollywood.